Welcome to your Hometown Sears studio. My name is Les Martin, along with our producer, Honeybee.
And I'm Brent Allen.
Thank you for taking an hour out of your day to join us here on WLAF, the Just Sports Show. We've got a fantastic hour jammed in here. We got a lot of stuff to talk about.
A whole lot of stuff.
A whole lot of stuff. So before we get started, I want to make sure we get our sponsors in. First and foremost, we want to say thank you to Sears, your hometown Sears store. And I tell you, I went to Sears over the weekend. I was looking at their tool section, and tools to me is what shoes are to women.
Same here.
Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, really. I got to looking at
I think that's a reasonable way to put it.
I'm telling you, it's one of those situations to where I start saying the shoes, the tools are just calling my name.
They're great tools too.
They are. They're
lifetime warranty.
Lifetime warranty as well, like Brent said. But I got to looking at their appliances. Mm-hmm. I was very impressed. Not that I hadn't been impressed before, but when I was saying I was impressed, they have so many different things to choose from. So many different styles, so many different colors. Whether it's your over-the-range microwave, which
I need one of those.
They've got one on sale for $199.
Wow.
It was fantastic. We paid much more than that for ours a few years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, from someplace else, which I'm ashamed to say. At that time, of course.
But now you know.
Now I know. Absolutely. Of course, Robert wasn't the owner of the Sears store, which he is now, and that's where I do a lot of my shopping. So, folks, if you need something inside your home or outside your home, and guess what? Even though we're having snow tonight and in the morning, it's going to be soon time that they probably are starting to get the new lawn tractors in for this upcoming mowing season.
It's getting close.
So, no better time than to go purchase one before you need it. Just go ahead and buy it while it's there. Take your pick out the one you'd like to have. I'm sure they're going to start coming in within the next month or so. But just a lot of stuff to choose from. I was just amazed. He has added so much to the Sears location there at the Food City Shopping Center at Woodson's Mall. It was just amazing. Their phone number is 562-7700. I also had an opportunity to talk to Robert, and we had a nice long conversation. Super guy to deal with. And you know what? Gary is Mr. Sears.
Yeah?
Yeah. Gary is Mr. Sears because every time someone calls at Sears, they ask to speak to Gary.
All right.
Gary's been there since the dirt. And that's the reason why they sell those big boxes of washing powder, so we can make sure Gary stays there at Sears.
That's what it's all about.
It is. That's exactly what it's about. So the phone number, once again, is 562-7700. Also, we want to say thank you to Rainbow Ford, the one who offers a Ford Club card service card that they have. It is one of those situations you pay up front now for the card. Every fifth oil change is free. You get free tire balance and rotation. I mean, let's face it, that's $25-$30 for a tire rotation and balance.
Sure.
At any place here in La Folla or any place else you would choose to go. So, with that being said, they also have extended service hours on Saturday from 9 until 1, as well as they are the home of the guaranteed credit financing. Good credit, bad credit, bankruptcy, it does not matter. They can take care of all your needs inside your vehicle, outside your vehicle, servicing your vehicle, or just about selling you a new one. The phone number is 562-2251. Go down and see the folks at Rainbow Ford. Also, we want to say thank you to Charlie's Pizza, often imitated, never duplicated. For 38 long years, Jerry Parton and Charlie's Pizza has been doing it right. Their phone number is 562-0116 if you have a call-in order, or if you just like to take the family. It is a great family atmosphere. Yeah. We spend a lot of time there during football season, of course.
Absolutely.
Place is always packed, but there's never any time that I've ever walked in, I hadn't had to wait long for a table if it was packed.
That's right.
And most of the time, and this is just the way it is, Brent, most of the time you can go in there and sit down with somebody else at another table and eat, because it's that much of a friendly environment that there's a lot of people in there that know one another.
That's right.
A lot of folks spend a lot of time at Charlie's Pizza. Their phone number, once again, is 562-0116. Also, we want to say thank you to Bird Screen Printing, downtown beside the Birch Memorial Bridge. Their phone number is 562-3044. they do an exceptional job. Like the sign that you've seen behind us, we have Greg Brackett, and underneath his name we have "In Memory of," as always will be in memory of, here at WLAF and the Just Sports Show. But they do a great job on our signs. They do a great job on the pullovers, the windbreakers, the hoodies like you got on.
Very easy to get along with, quick turnaround.
Yes.
Highly professional. Everything gets done nicely.
And folks, it's like everything else in this county. If you spend your money inside the county, 68 cents of every dollar. I almost sound like a politician, but it's a fact.
It's true, and people don't realize that he orders from the same place. If you go to Knoxville, it all comes from the same place.
Right.
They order from the same catalogs, and why take your money elsewhere? Keep it here.
Exactly. And in the bottom, the grand scheme of things, you know what? We are one of the lowest taxed counties in the state of Tennessee.
Yeah,
and if you don't know that, you need to get online and do some investigation, because that is a fact.
That's right.
So, folks, their phone number is 562-3044. Go down and see Larry, Kobe, and Don for all your screen printing needs. It doesn't really matter. They've got everything you need, from hats, uniforms, baseball, basketball. It doesn't matter. They
Election time is coming up.
Yeah, election time is coming up, and just go down and see them. They take care of you. Also, we want to say thank you to one of our fantastic sponsors that done a great job this year for us, was All-Star Awards. Mm-hmm. All-Star Awards was one of those awards that they delivered the awards to us each and every week, every Friday, for the Campbell County football team, which of course some players are still receiving awards.
That's right. So
their phone number is 562-6761. Go down and see Mr. David. It's in the A-Frame building across from Sonic, right here in La Follette. They can take care of all your trophy needs, plaques. It doesn't really matter. They can take care of you. Now, with all of that being said, we've got our sponsors taken care of.
That's right.
And we are so thankful for our sponsors, because without them, this show would not be possible.
Exactly.
And for those who don't know, I'm going to run this out there real quick. February the 8th will be our third year coming up. We've already been 2 years down. February 8th will be our third February 8th of being on the air. And we started the show with Mr. Greg Brackett and I, and that is something that we're going to continue here at WLAF and Just Sports Show, along with Brent and myself. We're going to continue. As I said last week, it's rock on for Brackett, and that's exactly what we're going to do. So, with that being said, we have a ton of sports to talk about.
Yeah, there's a lot.
The first and foremost, the most important one that we need to kind of get out there and let some folks know is when Campbell County was 0-10, I'm talking about the football team, nobody cared about the jerseys.
Right.
Nobody cared about the sound system. Nobody cared about the TV or anything else.
The field house, the field, the stadium, nothing. I mean,
there was nothing there.
Very few people took any interest in it.
Exactly. And now that Campbell County has come off their best year ever, there's someone went and vandalized the field house, painted up a lot of jerseys, somewhere in the neighborhood of 25. I've heard $25,000. I've heard $30,000 in damage. Now, you're talking about money they've got to come up with, and I'm sure that the schools probably got insurance, but there's probably some things that's not going to be covered. Right. For example, I'm not for sure if the jerseys are going to be covered.
Yeah, I don't know how that works. I mean, I would hope that they have insurance on any school, anything that belongs to the school, but we don't know. And regardless of whether they do or not, it's just the fact that it happened. It's just really sad. It takes a real coward to do something like that, and I hope they catch the guy, or guys, or gals, or whoever was involved.
Right, exactly. He took the words right out of my mouth, coward. Because anytime that you're in a situation like that, where you've got to bring shame to a program that played extremely well all year, if that's the worst that you can do, that's not going to stop the community, that's not going to stop Campbell County, it's not going to stop the high school, it's not going to stop us.
No, if anything, we'll probably end up with brand new, nicer jerseys anyway. So
yeah, exactly. So anyway, to get that off of our chest, if you have any information, of course, you can call the Sheriff's Department and talk to them. They'll be more than happy to help you out. And please, if you know of anyone who is involved, just turn the information into.
Yeah, if anybody came home over the weekend, teenagers or not, that came home with paint on their shoes or something that seemed
on
a little
their
unusual.
hands.
Yeah, it might be something you might want to pass on to the police station.
Exactly. We were also going to have T.J. Haney on tonight about 10 minutes after 9. That, unfortunately, at the last second, I had to cancel that. So we'll get him on next week, Mr. T.J. Haney. He's 6'6", 315 pounds. He's from Gaffney, South Carolina, and he's already has one offer, scholarship offer. He's a junior in high school. Next year will be his senior year. It'll be class of 2015. So we'll have him on hopefully Thursday or Tuesday of next week. And we'll talk to that young man as well. So with that being said, we got to get started. Campbell County High School, the girls lost to Halls by a score of 43-42 last night. The boys lost by a score of 53-42. These are two games, both of these teams, very winnable games for both of these teams. It's one of those situations to where, once again, like we talked to Coach Housley last Thursday, I believe it was, you never know what you're going to get when you get into a district game and you get up against some teams that plays in one of the toughest districts in East Tennessee.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be a gimme. I don't care who you're playing, and it's just because of the competition. You know, iron sharpens iron, and on any given night, depending on how the team shows up, that's what's going to make the difference.
Exactly, and I know that Coach Housley is working extremely hard. I know he's working those kids extremely hard, and the bottom line is they're now 1-7 in the district. They're certainly behind the 8 ball. They're going to really have to finish strong. I think this Friday they've got Central at home, if I'm not mistaken, and the 17th, that's this Friday, correct? Yes. The 17th is this Friday. They'll have Central at home, so we need to get out there and support them. Coach Housley and those kids, especially those kids that put in their hard time, their hard work, and the motivation that they go through. It's tough to go out and play a team in your district and play hard. And let's face it, Campbell County only scored 42 points. That was weak. Mm-hmm. That was weak for our high school boys. That was a game that was very winnable for them. It was one of those situations to where you kind of wonder, being in that situation, is it tough sometimes, Brent, going into the situation thinking or knowing that you're a better basketball team than the team that you're about to play? In other words, sometimes you can overlook an opponent and will get yourself in trouble.
Well, I think we saw that with the Vols, the men's basketball team. They basically did the same thing. This is a team that we should have beaten, and we're beating handily at halftime.
Right. And
kind of took our foot off the gas, and next thing you know, it was a ball game, and they messed around and lost it in the end. And that's kind of the same thing. They overlooked him, I believe. They thought that it was so easy in the first half they could ease up in the second half.
Well, I think that you are going to agree with me. And folks, if you want to join us, you can join us by 566-1450 or 562-3557. Feel free to call in. If you don't want to call in, you can jump on Facebook and friend us at Just Sports Brent and Les. Or if you're friends with us already, you're more than welcome to send your comments, your statements, your questions, and we'll address it as we receive them.
That's right.
As well as, I would like to say that we are definitely looking forward to speak to a lot of people, especially with all the things that's going on with the Campbell County basketball teams, as well as we've got to talk about the Border Bowl. Mm-hmm. Andrew Evans, Nick Bailey, and Corey Phillips all played in the Border Bowl. Mm-hmm. Of course, I heard that Davey Gillum was the head coach. Mm-hmm. He tried to run the spread offense, and I also heard, and I'm not going to repeat who my sources will be, but I also heard that Coach Price could do a better job operating or coaching the football team, the team.
That's amazing. You said Davey Gillum and lit up.
Thanks for calling Just Sports. You on the air. Hello?
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
No, your phone's not turned up.
Well, I've got it up as far as it'll go. I promise you, Thursday, it will be a different ball game.
A honeybee can turn the volume up some.
Honey, who do you think was in here trying to help me fix this telephone before I got here? Honeybee?
Yeah. Well, I see you've got a new one, and I still can't hear you.
I know. I promise you, we'll have a brand new phone come Thursday, and everybody will be able to hear us. And everybody that calls in.
Well, I tell you what, Comcast ought to help you with a phone.
You reckon?
Comcast could help you with a phone if they would.
You think so?
I know so.
Well, you know what? I'm like Jim Freeman. I don't want nobody to help me up if I can get up by myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we'll just go buy our own phone.
Well, it's not working. Why buy it?
Well, I know. I agree. I agree 100%.
Well, I want to tell you that I think they're all doing a good job on their sports for what they've been through the last few weeks. They're doing an excellent job. And UT needs to get rid of those stupid looking uniforms, because every time they wear them nearly, they get a whooping.
That might be it.
That might be it. It might be the uniforms.
They're ugly. I like something to be pretty.
I understand.
Well, if you raise your mic up, it might help you some.
No, that mic's for a different speaker.
There'll be something on there to turn the volume up, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure they are. But this is one of these phones that there's so many buttons. I'm telling you, it's a phone that's not even been out yet. They haven't even got it released to the public. They're trying to fix all the bugs, so they give it to us.
So they give it to you.
Yes.
So they couldn't hear you.
Well, that's the bug we're going to fix on.
Well, it's good to see you laughing anyway.
All righty. Thank you, ma'am.
Bye.
Bye. What I was going to say is Conzo Martin needs to go. You may agree with me. You may disagree.
I do. And I've said it from the beginning. I've never liked the style. And everybody I think at home knows I'm not going to sit here and try to dazzle people with my basketball knowledge, because I don't have much. But I can tell you this. It was a lot of fun watching basketball. I mean, I went to every game I could when Bruce Pearl was the coach. And just to me, that was exciting basketball.
Oh, yeah.
And we won. You know, that's kind of seems obvious. If it's exciting to watch, it's packing the house, and we're winning. That's the style of play I'm looking for. If we can't get Bruce Pearl, that's fine. There's plenty of coaches out there that coach the same way, though, that have that same coaching style.
Yeah, and it's one of these situations to where you're not going to bring big team basketball to Southeastern Conference and win.
Right.
That's a proven fact so far with Mr. Martin.
I agree. I mean, you'll pick up a few, but everybody has a lucky day. But overall, I agree that it's just not cutting it.
Bruce Pearl came to Tennessee. He beat Memphis. He beat Kentucky. He beat Florida.
Yeah.
And he did it all within classy fashion. And you know what? We may never get to see Bruce Pearl again at the University of Tennessee in the arena as a coach. But if there's any hope out there that's lasting right now, it's got to be because Louisville hired back Bobby Petrino. So there's hope.
There is hope. I've said it all along. You know, we've had callers call in and tell me I'm crazy and all this, but I'm telling you, there's still hope. And I think it's August is when he's cleared to go back to coaching. And I think that he's still living in Knoxville. He's still around. There's a reason for it. I mean, he can live anywhere in this country he wants to.
Right.
He chooses to live here. Maybe it's convenient. I don't know, but I like to think that he has bigger plans.
And getting back to the Border Bowl, and I'm sorry we got sidetracked there, but we've got so much stuff we've got on this little paper that it's just amazing.
That's right. It's unusual.
It is unusual because normally we just fly by the seat of our pants.
Yep.
Whatever comes up, whatever subject comes up, that's what we talk about. But tonight, it's a little more structured.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Let's see how it goes.
Yeah. Getting back to the Border Bowl, those three young men, the three seniors played in. I heard someone tell me today, and I've heard other people make comments as well, that Coach Price, Justin Price, would have done a better job with the Tennessee team if he had been the head coach instead of Davy Gillum. Now, we don't know that to be a fact. I'm being a Cougar fan. You're a Cougar fan. I'm a Justin Price fan. You're a Justin Price fan.
Yeah, but I'm going to make people mad. I'm a David Gillum fan, too. I mean, he's a very, very good man. I mean, people don't realize that.
Right.
He's a very good man, does a lot for the community, and he's a great guy. But when it comes to football, we want to beat him, you know. I mean, we want to win, and we want to beat Anderson County every chance we get, if we can. And I'm all for that. But I don't know, I don't know how anybody can coach in that short of a period of time, how you can get a whole lot done, especially when you've got these kids from all these different kinds of offenses.
Right.
This team may run spread, this guy may come from a team that runs something else.
Exactly.
And I don't know how they choose them. I don't know who has say in what kids get to come to it, because it's not your upper echelon like the Under Armour All-American Bowl or the Army U.S. Army Bowl, any of that stuff. So I don't know what the criteria is to get
Correct.
in. So maybe if they have the opportunity, if they say, "Hey, Coach Gillum, you're going to be the head coach," and whatever, maybe he's got some say in who gets to come, and he can bring in guys from teams that run the kind of offense he wants to run. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's true. And I've never thought about that, just to be perfectly honest with you. But what I did find interesting is the fact that Davy Gillum, and I don't know if Davy Gillum got to choose Matt Price as being the defensive coordinator or not. I don't know how that works.
I don't either. Again, it's all new to us,
Right.
I mean, until
This is the first time we've had
you win
anybody
10
go to the
seasons,
Border Bowl.
right? You win 10 bowls or 10 games in a season, and things completely look different. You start getting invited to things. People start noticing your players, even though we've had some fantastic players in the past.
Right.
They get no recognition. They've never gotten recognition simply because we've been on a losing team, and
Right.
it's the same way in college. Or how many Heisman Trophy winners have you seen come from a losing team? Zero.
None.
It's just the way it is.
Yeah, and it's a shame because there's been a lot of good talent
Sure.
come through Campbell County.
Sure.
And I guess with Ethan Jeffers, Nick Bailey, and Joseph Elkins, all were All-State. Is that the first time we've ever had anybody from Campbell County All-State?
Yes.
That's what I thought.
That's the first time we've had an All-State player, or of even one player, let alone three. But again, you go back to the 10-win season, and not to take anything away from the players. I mean,
they
obviously
get noticed in those wins, right?
I mean, you look back at what was the guy's name? Chris Johnson.
Chris Johnson.
I mean, my goodness, I've seen videos of that cat. He could fly. I mean, he was a real. He was a very talented running back, and he didn't get much help me out.
Notification.
Notoriety. Obviously, because I think they went 3-7 or whatever the final record was, and I understand that, but it's not. I mean, it's tough, for those guys. The guys that are coaching Coach Wells' sons, and Albright. All those guys that played, they did a lot of things here that did a really good job and played their hearts out. Keenan Evans and Oaks, all those guys. But when you're losing, nobody's paying attention.
Exactly, I agree with that 100%. It's like that 100%, and it's a shame, but it happens.
Tuffy, my goodness, he really he carried the team there. Anyway, but great job with those three guys. The final score I think was 37-17 or something like that. I didn't get to see the game. I had the channel, but it was blocked. Apparently, I don't have that package. I need to upgrade, I guess. But I didn't get to watch it. I was really wanting to. But at any rate, it's great for our county. It's great for the program to have 3 players get to go, and our defensive coordinator being it really helps out the program.
I agree 100%. Speaking of which, we've had, I got to looking about all these college head coaching jobs that came open and that's been filled. One coach leaves the other, and leaves
musical coaches.
Oh, absolutely, and now it's overflowing into the National Football League. Now, there's some hires that I've looked at today that really surprising to me. I also seen some hires in the NFL that I thought were good hires on some teams that probably they got a better coach than what the program was for.
I've never heard of some of these guys. I'm just being honest. I hadn't heard of. I've heard of Wisenhut. I didn't know what he did. I just remember the name.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware of his coaching prowess.
His resume.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Exactly.
But apparently, he's a pretty good coach.
He is a very good coach, and we'll get to talk about that a little bit more after the break. We're getting ready to go to the break. Also, folks, if you want to make sure you want to send in any type of message, if you'd like to call in, phone number is 566-1450, also 562-3557. We'll have plenty more to talk about right after the break. You're listening to Just Sports.
WLAF Sports Network.
Welcome back to Just Sports. My name is Les Martin, along with Brent Allen. First 30 minutes has went by like that.
Yeah, have we talked about any sports yet?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Are you, folks, here's another thing too. We are going to try to get a hold of Coach Kane, and I know he's had a lot of basketball games, and we're going to try to get Stretch Bailey on the show as well as Coach Kane. And for those who watch the show that enjoy it, we will now have our show archived on 1450WLAF.com.
That's right. So if you miss it, you can go back and check it out.
If you have kids that come on the show in the near future, guess what? You can go back, watch it, record it, download it to your little jump drive, and save it in your own personal video library.
Yeah, and that's something so many parents have asked. The kids that we bring on, the football players, baseball, basketball, whoever, they always ask, can I get a video of this or a copy of it? And we hadn't in the past, and so I think it would be a great thing so that kids can go back and see themselves, stumbling and fumbling through like we do.
Absolutely. Thank you for calling Just Sports. You on the air?
I tried Brent Allen's line, and it gave me a busy signal.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Well,
But they better be careful Friday night. It's awards night.
it's awards
And they'll
night.
be sure and get a whooping if they don't concentrate on basketball.
Yeah, that's true. That
And
goes,
they can have their awards, but they have to go back to playing.
I think
But
it's home.
they better not get too choked up about the awards because they got to play ball.
I agree. I think it's one of those situations of overlooking the opponent.
And I think our coaches are doing a great job.
They are. Fantastic job.
Take them all the way around, all of them. They're working and they're not pulling and tugging against one another. They're working together. And I'm so proud that Donnie Poston decided he would probably stay on a while as the director of schools.
Yes.
Because we need an honest director of schools for
Yeah.
sure in this county.
I agree.
All right, take care, fellas.
All righty. Bye-bye. Campbell County will host Central this Friday. Coverage begins at 6 o'clock right here on 1450WLAF.com. It is also homecoming night.
Homecoming.
Homecoming festivities will be after the Cougars game. So I'm taking that as after the Campbell County High School men's team play is when they'll have homecoming.
That sounds about right.
So it's this Friday night. Folks, make sure you get out there and support these folks. These
Yeah, we
kids.
also have the football banquet on the 18th.
January the 18th, which is a Saturday or Friday night?
I believe it's a Saturday. I
Saturday?
believe it is. I could be wrong, but I doubt it.
Huh.
Yeah, the flyer says friends and family of the Cougar football team are all welcome.
It
so-
is Saturday, and we
It
got
is.
invited. I'm glad you mentioned that. We got invited. January the 18th. And where's it at?
The barn. Help me out. What's it called? It's everybody knows it's the
The Ball Farm?
yes, where they have events like this. It's a big barn.
As everybody can see me as
It's
I'm
just up
sitting
past
here.
Big O's.
Just up past Big O's, or
Yeah.
this side of Big O's?
Maybe it is this side of the I'm sure. Folks that know where it is, you know.
Yeah, the mailman should call in and let us know where it's
That
at.
might be him on the line.
Thanks for calling Just Sports. You on the air.
Hey, how's it going, Les?
Hey, mailman, I'm so glad you called.
So glad I called, huh?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. Trying to find the ball for him?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm out here looking at it right now. No, it's right past the food line. Going up the valley about 1/10 of a mile past the food line on your left.
Okay.
If you get to Big O's, you went too far. So
It sits right there. Ain't that where they have the, oh, help me out here, where the bunch of kids get to go and they have that?
The dance. And,
Jake's Day?
Jake's Day, yes.
Yeah.
Ain't that where they have that at?
Yeah, it's a real good thing they do up there. The Balls, they really do a lot to help out in that organization too. That's real good. They do a lot of community too. So yeah, we appreciate them. But yeah, it's going to be Saturday night, and I hope they'll usually have a police car out front there. Or a strobe light or something where you turn off at.
Yeah.
To kind of give everybody a warning there to kind of turn off right there. So
Yeah, they say,
I'm
bud.
sure they'll do that again. But that's looking forward to that banquet.
Are you going, mailman?
Yeah. Me and Dad's already going to be there. You guys going to be there too, ain't you?
Yeah. I think we're going to be there.
Yeah. I think they might let us sit at the same table. Who knows?
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
That would be an
Same
honor.
table right there. Hopefully they won't. We will act up there and won't get kicked out.
Yeah, I know that it's going to be catered by Buddy's Barbecue. It starts at 6 o'clock. It's January the 18th, and that's of course for the football team, the banquet. And if you want to go out and show your support, have at it. They'll have catering there for the football team, I'm sure. You know.
Yeah, I'm looking for this to be one of the most exciting and best banquets that we've ever had.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, they definitely got plenty of highlights for the highlight film there to watch.
Yeah, it sure do, Brett. It's and I've seen part of the highlight film, and it's going to be really exciting right there. And I'm sure they'll be showing it throughout the banquet, and really looking forward to it. But yeah, encourage everybody to come on out. And this week right here, last couple of days have been tough on the football program due to the break-in up there at the field house. But that's just going to make us stronger. We'll come back. We'll fight through it, come back, and hopefully the investigation continues, and they'll find out who the responsible party is for doing this. But the players, they'll bounce back, and the coach and the community will. So we'll be all right.
Absolutely, I agree.
Yeah, the only thing that's tough right now is the jerseys. They got they painted them up, and with them custom Nike jerseys, you got to have about a 6-month window there. They're so backed up right now to where you can get the jerseys reordered and get the right size jerseys for the right size numbers, and that's going to be kind of pushing it right before the opening season. Season opener, but we'll see what happens. I'm sure that they'll try their best, and the coach is already on the ball. Like they're trying to get some new jerseys already going. So, like you see, I said earlier, we'll probably come back bigger and better jerseys after it's all said and done. Anyways,
There you go.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
I want to tell Brent that I really like the campus up there at University of Cumberland's. Went up there Saturday to the Border Bowl, and really like the campus. Haven't been up there in many years, and it's real clean.
Yeah.
And I know Slayton's really enjoying his time up there.
Yep. He just went back
it's a
yesterday.
clean campus. It's a good school. Really impressive with the facilities, and everybody up there. They really did a good job. Even got to see old Phil Fulmer up there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Coach
Hey,
Fulmer.
let me ask you a question. We got a message on our Facebook page about the field being, the field was really in bad shape even before they played the game.
Yeah, the field, of course, it was, they had a lot of, I believe, Brent, they had a lot of playoff games this past season also. And
Yeah, they had home field advantage, so they played all the way up until the national championship at home until the
Right.
last.
So that's what they was talking about up there. Some guys was talking to me and said, we had a lot of games played on this field this year, plus also, the weather conditions, even though it's overseeded in rye, which still had some green in it, it still wasn't holding up really well. It seemed like Tennessee stayed on their end of the worst end of the field all day. So.
Yeah, and it's a relatively new field too. They just redid it last year, so it's it still hasn't settled in all the way, and it'll get better with time.
Yeah, it will. They got a lot of big plans ahead up there at the school. I knew the new entrance coming in up there, coming down the hill, going into the stadium is going to be really nice once they get that completed there, and the parking and stuff. So that's going to be really neat there. But yeah, the field, it did play a disadvantage for Team Tennessee, but I hate that the turnout wasn't better, but there's a lot of, like you guys said earlier, there's a lot of kids coming from different schools, and it made it kind of tough to try to get something together quick. Like 3 days, usually a bowl game, colleges, you got a month to prepare,
Right.
together practice for the other team. Well, they got them up there for 3 days, but it's a real good turnout and a real good experience for our kids and Coach Price as well. They got treated to the bowl banquet and guest speakers and got their own rings and really just a lot of good stuff coming. Hopefully next year it continues. I know what Philip and Stephen Wells went up and participated in it. One of the first years it came out. I'd like to get up there and sing them and play in it, but I know they do a good job with it. The sponsor is National Guard, Kentucky National Guard, and it keeps getting bigger and better every year. So hopefully we can keep that relationship continued with them and get more kids. And there's a lot of college scouts up there looking at kids too. So
Yeah.
just it's a real good thing.
Yeah, it's. Let me ask you a question. It's was there a lot of fan following as far as the Border Bowl up there last weekend?
As far as Cougar fans or Team Tennessee
Or just in general, was there quite a few people up there at that game?
Well, yeah, Team Tennessee probably outnumbered the Kentucky fans, but I tell you what, guys, we're going to be proud. I counted up the Campbell County fans there. Of course, we had 3 players participating, plus Coach Price, but we had more fans. Probably had about 25 or 30 fans, just Campbell County fans that went up there to see these kids play and support the program. And so we Campbell County fans even followed. We still want to see more football, and me and Dad was up there as well, and really proud to see some Campbell County fans. Of course, we like football, but we had more fans than anybody there. That Campbell County did, so that was good to see too.
If it was marketed a little better, I mean, honestly, there's not that much. You don't see much about it. A lot of people didn't know anything about it until it was too late. And not to mention the weather was kind of iffy. A lot of people weren't sure what the weather was going to do, and I'd say that played into it as well.
Right. Yeah, that's true too. And maybe it might be able to come down this way here and market it. Down this area here more, and hopefully they'll come down this way and get the word out more.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it's a nice drive up there. We went up 25W, and it's not that far. I mean, Brent knows it. You guys know it's not. A lot of people think it's real far up to Williamsburg, but it's once you get to Jellicoe, you got it made.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, it's just only a hop, skip, and a jump. I mean, it's an hour from where I live.
That's right.
So
I'm sorry, Les, I couldn't hear you.
I said it's only an hour drive from where I live.
Right. Yeah, 1 hour drive, and it's interstate all the way. And as soon as you get off the exit, you're there. So it's.
And if you're a situation like Brent is, where he lives closer into town, I'm thinking he can be there in 40 minutes or so.
Right.
Yeah, it generally takes Slayton about 40, 45 minutes back and forth. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but guys, I'll jump off here. I just want to tell you now, if you ever need Bruce Pearl's phone number, I've got his personal cell phone number.
We need
it.
Do not want to give it out over the air, of course.
We need to get it and get a hold of him, see if he'll at least call into the show.
Yeah, he might do it there, and it might even get you to call into the show there sometime.
That's right.
Yeah, I might be able to arrange that out right there. But anyway, guys, a good show, and still asking the community to still keep Greg's family. I know we talked about it and move on, but just still keep everybody, our whole community, in our prayers. You know, the families of our community. Just pray for our community in general. And just stay positive. And it's like I was talking to Larry Burge, one of your sponsors there yesterday, down at his shop.
Yeah.
And just staying positive in the community. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely, I agree.
And just stay positive, and we're going to keep on keeping on. So, guys, good show. We'll talk to you later. Good night.
All right, good night. Bye. Speaking of college head coaching jobs, I've got a list, just a long list. First and foremost, Steve Sarkisian leaves Washington, goes to USC. Chris Peterson leaves Boise State. Of course, he goes to Washington. Now, those two hires right there doesn't do anything for me.
Okay.
Steve Sarkisian to USC, who cares? Chris Peterson from Boise State. Sure, Boise State played some teams and they beat some teams and they've won a BCS bowl game against Oklahoma. I get all that. But I don't think that does anything for me for the hire. Maybe it's because I'm not a Pac-10 or Pac-12, whatever they call it.
Whatever it's called this week.
Yeah. Maybe it's because I'm not one of those fans. But Charlie Strong to Texas, that's a shocker.
That's a strong hire there.
It is.
Yeah.
I agree.
You know, he turned Tennessee down to stay at Louisville and then turned around and took the Texas job. That's kind of a slap in the face.
Well, sure it is.
I mean, I don't blame him, and I do. I'm not stupid. I do see things, with orange-colored glasses, Tennessee orange, that is. But I will say that it's a more prestigious job. I mean, Texas is football. We take football seriously here, but people shoot each other over football games in Texas on a regular basis. I mean, it's different.
Yeah.
High school games there look like college games here, and so forth. I mean, it's a big deal. And he's got a huge recruiting base already, built in. Got their own network. How can you say no?
Right.
But were you surprised by it?
Yes.
Really?
I did not think that it was a good hire. I really didn't. I thought to myself, Charlie Strong is the only person they can get. I would think that James Franklin would have fit in a lot better than Charlie Strong at Texas.
I don't think his nature, the way he is, what's his attitude, his personality, I don't think it fits in Texas. I think
Really?
he's fine at Penn State, but in Texas you need to be a little bit more laid back. I mean, look at Mac Brown and the way he handled himself, and Charlie Strong's always shown to me looks like a quiet confidence. Of course, he's a huge man. I mean, he obviously lifts a lot of weight, so he's pretty confident in himself. Anyway, but. He's got quiet confidence and he's been successful everywhere he's been. I agree. I mean, I know what you mean. He doesn't have a huge resume. He's not a long-term guy.
He's not one of those snazzy coaches that you would expect that would fly in there like a Nick Saban and take over the Texas job.
I was pulling for him to come to Tennessee, when they were mentioning for the Tennessee job. So I was pretty hurt that he chose to stay at Louisville.
Thank you for calling Just Sports. You on the air?
What do you think about Lane Kiffin?
Yeah, we were getting there. I think Nick Saban hires Lane Kiffin. I think that is a step backwards. What do you think?
Well, you know that I'm colorblind.
Oh, yeah?
When it comes to sports and players.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think Tennessee needs a few white players.
In what, basketball or what?
What are you talking about?
It wouldn't, you don't have to have professional players to play basketball.
Oh.
Okay, I understand.
But if they would mix it up, red and yellow, black and white, they'd do a lot better.
Maybe.
I understand.
That's my thought about it anyway. So, go Cougars and whip Central.
Thank you.
Lane Kiffin.
Yeah.
That blows me away. It really does. This is my theory. You tell me what you think.
Okay.
I'm thinking to myself, Nick Saban's sitting around and he's thinking, okay, my offensive coordinator is gone. I've got to replace him.
But if you remember, though, well, go ahead,
No,
because I don't want you to lose your train of thought.
Well, I'm just going to say that I'm looking. We know that Lane Kiffin and Nick Saban had worked together before in the past, correct?
Correct.
He worked under Nick Saban at LSU, I think, maybe.
Somewhere in that neighborhood.
Anyway, whatever the situation is, I think that this didn't come from Nick Saban as much as it did from Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin realizes that his stock is dropping like a lead balloon. I mean, this guy is really losing traction.
Right.
And we know that Nick Saban's wanting to go to a fast-paced offense, which, by the way, the Tide faithful are not going to like that. They're not going to like the change. They're not going to like the Oregon style, high-speed, fast stuff. But here's what happened. Saban put out that he was interested in going to a faster-paced style offense, and Lane Kiffin decided he was going to come up with one. He comes up with this scheme, basically just copies everything from Oregon or one of those schools. I mean, heck, even Auburn was what we considered a fast-paced offense.
Exactly.
So what he's done is he's gone to Nick Saban and said, "Look, I've got the formula. Here it is. Give me a shot." And Nick Saban, being old buddies with him, said, we'll see what you got. And Nick Saban's in a position that he can do that. What are they going to do? Fire him? I mean, come on, he's Nick Saban.
Right. Well, I think it's a bad hire for Alabama. I really do. I don't think that Lane Kiffin's got what it takes to have Alabama offense, have their offense in a position to where they're going to be able to run an up-tempo. I think that you have to recruit. I mean, let's face it. The guys that they've got coming in was guys that they've got coming in prior to Lane Kiffin getting there. Mm-hmm. So he recruited according to his style of offense that he was operating at this particular time, not what's going to operate in the future.
Right.
Thank you for calling Just Sports. You on the air.
How are you guys doing tonight?
Good. How are you doing, Edward?
I'm doing great, Les and Brent.
Good.
Good. What's on your mind tonight, brother?
Yes, was talking about the coach, Gibson, the Dallas Cowboys. Last year hired Dooley and Monty Gibson.
Right. Exactly. And I don't know what they've seen in. I don't know. Derek Dooley is probably a good position coach. I'm not going to say that he's not. But I think that he tried to be too many position coaches when he was here as a head coach, because he wanted to dictate everything that was happening offensive and defensively for the Tennessee Vols. And I think that was his biggest downfall. I don't think. Here's the situation. Head coach coaches coaches, and the coaches the players. And I don't think he did a very good job with coaching his coaches. Now, Monty Kiffin, on the other hand, he came up with the Tampa 2 defense. Anytime that you mention Tampa Bay and the Tampa 2, you have to think of none other than Monty Kiffin.
But how much longer can you ride that out?
Well, I agree, because offenses are changing every day, and guess what? The Tampa 2 at one particular time was the most operated defense in the National Football League. Well, guess what? It's not anymore.
Right.
So they're slowly but surely going away from the Tampa 2 across the board in the National Football League, because the offensive side of the football always is a step ahead, and the defense finally catches up. And then once the defense catches up, the offense changes again.
Yep.
Got one thing to say. We've got a lot of, like one of my friends says, I'm going to have too much fun next 2 months. We've got, let's see, the Olympics coming up. we've got Cougar basketball, and like Dwayne called in and said, 6 o'clock Saturday night, we've got the banquet. And, you know, everybody talks about the 10-2, but Campbell County football has never finished the season number 4 in the polls. And they're working hard in the weight room right now, and we're getting ready for this coming year, this coming season.
Good.
So watch out for the big Cougars.
All right.
We've got everybody. I don't know how many we lost, but I know we've got our quarterback. We've got the Elkins. We've got the, center, and you know, we've got a lot of our boys coming back, and if we can keep them healthy and they stay healthy, watch out for those Campbell County Cougars.
That's right.
And hope that Brent are doing great. I'll hush and let you. I'll just hush and see you next week.
All right. See you, buddy.
See.
This is the first time I just got a text, and not knowing exactly who it was from, but I just got a text. First time for Saban and Kiffin duo, no Kiffin at LSU. And he went on Wikipedia, and he sent us the information to back up what he was telling us. And he's right. According to this, Lane Kiffin, Wikipedia, this is all his coaching positions that he has had, and hadn't worked under Nick Saban. But
you know, it was I was thinking of Pete Carroll.
Pete Carroll,
who was his mentor.
Right, exactly. But did you see the picture of?
I did. That's one of my. That's a great picture, folks. Too bad you can't see it. If you're got the internet, check it out. It's
pretty awesome.
It's funny, yeah.
Yes, it is. Also, real quick, and then we're gonna. What do you think about Bo Davis? He played for LSU, was second team All-American at LSU. He went and took the USC job on January 7th of this year, 2014. He leaves USC just the other day, goes to Alabama as defensive line coach. So
yeah, he didn't even make it to one school before he veered left.
A little fishy there, huh?
Yeah, a little fishy, but you know, if your choice is USC or Alabama, I mean,
that's pretty good choices.
Well, it is good choices, but you know, I guess Alabama is some people's dream job. You know, I don't know.
Thank you for calling Just Sports. You on the air.
One more fast statement.
All right.
You better hurry.
I hope it snows in Alabama right around Lane Kiffin's house, and that woman has to wade snow knee deep to get out.
Me too.
And just at his house, though.
All right. Me too. I agree.
Bye.
Bye.
She makes a good point. I heard this earlier. I'll make it quick. Lane Kiffin's wife is famous for being, you know, high maintenance. I mean, she likes the finer things in life, and that's fine, you know. But they pointed out, have you ever been? I mean, Knoxville's not exactly a big city. We understand that. But in comparison to Tuscaloosa, come on.
Yeah.
Tuscaloosa is a pretty dismal town, so she's not going to be happy.
No, I don't think so either. I think if she had her way, she would be in a big city like New York, Boston, Los Angeles, something like that. Also, before we get off there, we got about 5 minutes anyway, so we've got plenty of time. Bobby Petrino's hired back at Louisville. He leaves Western Kentucky University, coached 1 year there. He goes back to Louisville. And this was pretty strong for Mark Richt at Georgia. He hires Jeremy Pruitt, which was the Florida State Seminoles defensive coordinator for the same position at Georgia. I thought that was a pretty good hire.
Yeah, I don't know how he did it.
I don't know either. Thank you for calling Just Sports. You on the air.
Have you heard anything about school for tomorrow?
It's on.
Do what?
I said it's on. Yeah.
Alright, not. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Anyway, what were we saying? Who's this running back? I'm all for an hour. I'm sitting there looking at that and wondering who is this guy?
Kareem Walker has dropped by his DePaul High School coach's office Monday morning when his coach told Walker he had a text message he wanted to read to him. It was from Tennessee football staff, and the purpose was to offer the fast-tracking 2016 running back prospect a scholarship.
2016.
2016.
Man, they are doing their homework.
They are. He is an explosive running back. He's 6'1", 195 pounds, and that's pretty good size.
Yeah, he's a junior. He's a sophomore. He ran for 1,000 yards. Wait, is he from Kentucky? Because he might be like 22 already.
No, he's from New Jersey.
Oh, okay.
DePaul High School in New Jersey. That was good.
That's it.
Yeah. He rushed for 1,000 yards and 12 touchdowns his sophomore year.
Not bad.
Over 1,000 yards. That's pretty good.
That is.
Thank you for calling Just Sports. You on the air?
I'm going to write Peyton Manning a letter and invite him to come to a depressed state and county and give us some pointers on football and help our teams get up.
Okay.
He might do it.
He'll help us get on their toes and find out how to keep the vandals out of the field houses and stuff.
There you go.
Put armed guards on him and shoot anybody within the first 100
I'll
yards.
get his address and I'll write him.
All right.
Alrighty.
Bye.
Bye. I also wanted to talk about some information on the NFL football coaches, the head coaches. Jim Caldwell, which goes to the Detroit Lions, he was a Ravens offensive coordinator. I think that's a very good hire for Detroit. It's one of those situations to where he led Indianapolis to a Super Bowl, got fired. Just a tad. Got fired from Indianapolis when he was, guess what? 2-14 without Peyton Manning. So that's one thing. Now, Detroit hires him. He goes. He's going to do. I think he's going to do a great job. Although what are you going to do in a city that's bankrupt? Detroit is bankrupt. I think that's a good hire for a lousy team. Ken Wisenhunt was probably the best hire for the Titans, outside the fact of they could have had Jack Del Rio, but of course they can't hire Jack Del Rio until after the season. Well, guess what? I'm thinking it was a process of elimination for the Tennessee Titans. They had Dan Quinn, Jack Del Rio, Jay Gruden, along with Ken Wisenhunt. Also, Ken Wisenhunt was in the running for the Cleveland Browns job as well as the Minnesota Vikings. He chose the Tennessee Titans, which I don't blame him. There's more pieces of the puzzle in place in Tennessee, and the franchise seems to be on solid ground where Detroit and Cleveland, too shaky for me.
I agree. Minnesota's pretty good footing, and who's the other team?
The Browns, which they haven't hired a coach yet. The Browns, Cleveland Browns, and the Vikings is the last two teams to hire a coach. And I'm going to make my prediction. I think Jack Del Rio, from the Denver defensive coordinator, will take that job at Minnesota. That's just my opinion. Dan Quinn, of course, may be the next guy at Cleveland Browns. He's the defensive coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks. And Jay Gruden, of course, he is the head coach for the Washington Redskins. He was the Bengals offensive coordinator.
Right.
And Lovie Smith, out of everybody, Lovie Smith was out of coaching for a year. He took the Tampa Bay job. I'm thinking he's the one that's the winner, because anybody that can move to a state that's got beautiful weather all the time.
I agree. And people don't realize it, but Tampa's they support their football. They support the Buccaneers. They got a really neat thing going on down there, and I think he probably came out came out looking pretty good. I don't know what his pay looks like in comparison to the others, but his living conditions are pretty good.
I would sacrifice just a little bit of jibs for the
Minnesota,
Tampa Bay. Well, folks, we have run out of time here on the Just Sports Show. And for our executive producer, Miss Honeybee, my name is Les Martin.
I'm Brent Allen. God bless and go Cougars.
We will see you Thursday night at 9 o'clock right here on WLAF 1450. Good night, and we'll see you Thursday.